Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome to MK Central Primetime. We are here today with a brilliant matchup consisting of World Friend versus BUZ. This is one of the most exciting matches of this season, and it will be one of the best prime times you will ever see. We are taking a look at World Friend, who has a storied history full of success and winning at the highest of highest levels. They are one of the greatest teams we've ever seen in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe history, and today challenging them for the final spot in D2 Finals, looking to play against GGL for the D2 Championship, we have BUZ. This is the highest level they have ever played. They've been making a slow and steady climb up the divisions through their history. We've seen them in mid-div in seasons past. 3 seasons ago, they won D6 in the most spectacular of fashions, and here they are today against the titans of this game. BUZ versus World Friend, new school versus old school. Who will come out on top today? I am joined here today by Miles. My name is Top Hat Bear, and I cannot wait to get into this cast.
Hey man, yeah, I'm super excited to be here casting this match. And you said it best, honestly. This is definitely new school versus old school. You know, World Friend is one of the titans that has been at the top of the divisions of MKU for a very long time. They haven't played any lower than D4 until, last season when they played with just their second team. So I'm really excited to see kind of how this match will go. You know, this is kind of like a clash of two teams that have been, kind of in completely different spots throughout their entire duration of playing this game. You know, BUZ has climbed from the bottom. They were in D16, and then they climbed into the mid divs, and then now they're in D2. They're playing in the highest division that they've played since they've been a team. And now they're playing against a team that has been up here for a very long time, and they're looking to defend their title. I was reading in actually the Division 2 chat. Their leader, Yoshi Sky Blue, said, we used to joke about playing World Friend 3 years ago when we were D16, and now it's become a reality. This is an honor to be facing you guys. So I think that's kind of a testament to what we're about to see today. You know, I'm really excited to see which of these two teams are going to be playing GGL in the D2 finals, and I'm excited for some fun matches today.
That quote from YSB gives me chills. That's so awesome to see, and that's part of what this game is all about. And I think we're going to see an amazing matchup today. Like we said, World Friend, they have the experience. They play very calm, cool, collected. They're a very, very good team at just getting it done. Nothing crazy is going to happen, but they're just so fast. They're so hard to beat. BUZ, on the other hand, are so much hungrier. They are here. They have not experienced this before. They've not been in this position before at this high of a level. So they're going to be a lot hungrier. They will probably be feeling the nerves more, but I feel like they have more of an inspiration to do it today. So the two contrasts will be very, very cool to watch. Could the experience level matter if we make it to game 3, or will BUZ be hungry to prove themselves on this stage like we haven't before? And now we're looking at the standings of the div. What a close division this was. The top 6 teams all within 2 wins of each other. And unfortunately, 2 of them had to miss out on playoffs. And now we are looking at the top 4, but only 2 can make their way to finals. We've seen GGL make their way yesterday to finals, narrowly beating out on GV, but now is the final berth into finals. Miles, what are you thinking about this match? What are you expecting?
I think honestly this could go either way. In the regular season, BUZ took the game from World Friend, but it was really close throughout the entire match. I think, World Friend took the match. Oh, that's my bad. I looked at the table wrong. But yeah, World Friend, they had a very dominant performance the entire season. They only lost one match, and they lost to GGL actually by about 90. GGL would be the team that they're going to face in the finals if they do make it. But BUZ definitely could make a huge comeback if they know how to, kind of counter World Friend's play style. World Friend, like Top Hat said, is very calm, cool, collected. They know how to play with each other. They know their, set pool of tracks. And their set pool of tracks is obviously very different than what BUZ picks. So we're going to see some polar opposite track picks today, I think, and obviously polar opposite playstyles. And, it'll be kind of interesting to see which team comes out on top in that regard.
Absolutely. And now we are looking at the BUZ lineup. There are some fantastic players here. Highlight on Q, who's one of our streamers today. He's been here since pretty much the start with BUZ. He's been improving so much. He was at one point just the top scorer for BUZ constantly, but now everyone has caught up to his level right now, and he is still fantastic, but he's a piece in the cog now. He does so well. We're also looking at the point of view of Gold today. Gold, for the most part, is known for sitting in the back, playing the support player, but if he needs to, he is fully capable of popping off, as we saw him do in the final week of MKU on Primetime. He was a big part in that win over Dynamite. Other players on the roster, we see Bape, we see Jordan, we see Tyson, we see Yoshira. All these players, so much experience, so much skill. Yoshira coming in with D1 experience. Tyson as well, I believe, which will be so huge for this BUZ squad playing at this level that they're not used to playing at.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Scar is in for Jordan. I'm being informed. Scar, as we know, one of the greatest 200cc players of all time, but still rapid on 150cc. This is another huge part of the BUZ team. Look out for Scar in the front with his insane pace every single race.
Mm-hmm. So yes, I think Scar and Jordan both have very similar play styles. They're both pretty quiet players, but they're both really good runners. Um, I think that we have some really good runners in Tyson and Hugh and Yoshira, and I think we have some really good support players in Bape and Gold and Jordan and Scar. So I think that that's kind of how um, the team will kind of mesh together. That's kind of how it's been whenever we play them. You know, they're really good at supporting their runners. If they need shock, then they'll have a couple set few people that'll go back for it. Um, but yeah, I mean, you know, if World Friend can kind of disrupt their, I guess, kind of uniform way of playing with each other, then I think that might be the key to taking the win.
Absolutely. And we have talked about how BUZ don't quite have the experience at this level yet, but something to keep in mind is that Bape, Gold, Q, Tyson altogether won the most recent PL, having two fantastic matches against Daybreak, a former D1 team, keeping it. Each match was incredibly close the whole way through, and they were able to come out on top. So they might have that clutch gene that will be needed in this war. However, let's take a look at World Friend now. Let's see who they have. We see Linkos and Soren on the broadcast. Linkos and Soren actually playing in D4 last season with World Friend's second team. But in the final season, the two World Friends have combined, and Linkos and Soren are now playing at this D2 level, which is awesome to see. And they've taken to it like a fish to water. They've been so fantastic this season. So it'll be awesome to see what they have this war.
Mhm. Yeah, and all of these players have played at the top level for a very, very long time, and they've played together at this level for a very long time. Linkos is an OG, Mars is an OG, Ramsu, Soren, they're all OGs. The only like new player I would say is Razop. Razop kind of started playing at a top level, you know, maybe last year or 2 years ago, but he's mashed really well with World Friend, and he's obviously climbed to be one of their top players. Um, but yeah, I mean, this team, you know, they're different from BUZ for sure. Like I said before, they have very clean, concise, clear comms. They know how to communicate the important stuff and not really kind of say any unnecessary things. They know how to run and support their top players, but they also know how to go for shock when they need it. World Friend, they kind of pick a lot of base game tracks, a lot of actually inward friendly tracks. Even though they only have one inward in their lineup, they usually pick to kind of support him, whether it be Ramsu or Zakaria. They pick like, you know, Turnpike, they pick Mumu, LA Labs, Sydney, TM, stuff like that. Stuff that doesn't have a clear disadvantage for inward bike. So if BUZ wants to, you know, stick with their key picks of like Dragon, DK Mountain, maybe throw in like a Mushroom Gorge. I think that they'll definitely force that one player to struggle. But you know, if they get too caught up in that strategy of, you know, messing up one player in specific, then that one player will just pull shock on them, right? So it's kind of like a double edged sword in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. If you take out Ramsu, it doesn't really matter. There's still five players right there to take you behind, and completely
Mhm.
mess you up. So here we
Yeah,
go. We're
definitely.
getting into race one of the war. Let's see what both teams pick. We're on Linkos's point of view, and he is picking Twisted Mansion alongside the rest of his team. This is a great track that they can shroom up on. On the other hand, we see BUZ picking Wario Stadium, the best runner in the game considered by many, which is very strong for their top 4. So this first track pick is vital to see how we start the war.
And I do want to point out that both teams have agreed to keep the no repick rule throughout the entire series, so it will be 36 tracks, none repicked throughout the entire series. So both teams obviously have picked a very safe track for them to start the race.
Absolutely. And I think this Wario Stadium pick from BUZ is vital, as I know both teams can play this track to perfection. And at this level, it's more about which team picks it for which spots rather than picking the track that your team is better at. But we see WorldFriend immediately with the reversal, getting a top 2-5 position, top 2-4 in fact, at the start of the race as we're heading through. However, there still is a big shroom up cut incoming at the end of the lap. If the BUZ players can stay close enough to make a shroom up work, they can keep up in here, as we see Gold MK up there with his teammate in support behind. This is all going to come down to who can shroom up here at the cut.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was a pretty quick reversal because BUZ started out top 4. WorldFriend got into, top 3 pretty quickly, but it looks like, it's pretty mixed up here. Rank comes in, actually, for Linkos. It's still going to be a top 3 for WorldFriend right now, but BUZ is in a lot of these mid spots. Fortunately, Linkos does rang his teammate there, going for Bape there. He is going to have a Ghost. This is really good to kind of keep in 5th here. Yeah, BUZ is going to be in, 2-3, 2-4, oh, just second now. WorldFriend kind of has dominant tops here. They do have a couple people in the back, though.
Yes, we do see an early Ghost coming out from Linkos. I am a little bit surprised at that play, as the Ghost is one of the few items in this game that can dodge the shock, and it doesn't seem to be like he dodges any items with that Ghost. However, he does have a bomb right now in 5. This is a strong position. His team is in 1, 3, and 6. If he can take out these 2 players, that'd be huge. He gets one of them, but the blue shell is out. But it does seem like the BUZ player has taken first. WorldFriend, we're holding on to that blue shell. Linkos is triple reds right now. I see a lot of BUZ players getting hit out right now. That's the blue taking out the one in first. That is the triple reds taking out Yoshira. Q is up there. He's in 2 right now, but the WorldFriend players are bearing down. Morris is letting Linkos through right now, but gets fired out. He gets saved by his teammate. This is fantastic teamwork from BUZ, keeping them into the race. We have 1 set to go, 1 shroom up cut to go. Let's see who wins this race. It looks like the BUZ player in 1, Q, has made a play. Q is going to be taking 1 this race, but the WorldFriend players are all behind him, taking the rest of the spots, and this seems to be like the points are shared pretty evenly after race 1.
Yeah, man, 1, 5, 6, 7 is nothing to scoff at, but WorldFriend with those 2, 3, 4 spots behind Q is going to be scary going into the next race for sure.
Indeed, that is a very impressive play of Q right there, winning the 1v3 up at the top. He must have had some fantastic items to support them. However, it doesn't matter what tools you have, it does come down to the craftsman, and the craftsman has cooked up a masterpiece. Let's see what he goes in 1. Toad's Turnpike already. We expected this track out of WorldFriend today, not BUZ. What happened?
Huge pick, huge pick. I like this strategy. This is kind of what we pulled on GGL in our unfortunate semis that we lost. In the first match, we spent the entire match just trying to burn the other team's best tracks. We were picking MKS, Cloud Top, DKJ, stuff like that we know that we struggle on. Just trying to kind of get those out of the way. So I have a lot of respect for this strategy going into race 2. So yeah, I mean, I want to look at that Ghost play from the last race. It was really unfortunate, even though there was no shock. Having a Ghost in 4th or 5th for Linkos could have been really huge for them, just as kind of like a protection from every item, right? But Linkos was just unfortunately forced into that Ghost because when he was doing one of the ramp strats, he was going to land on a banana, so he just kind of had to use it really quickly, which kind of sucked. That kind of probably maybe cost them a few points, but overall, that 2, 3, 4 is definitely not too bad.
Yeah, absolutely. It can control so much because you can do some creative plays with the Ghost. If your teammate's ready and everyone in front of you doesn't have items except for the player that's being readied, you can guarantee you take their defense. But we go now on to Toad's Turnpike. The inside player of Ramsu is starting in 3, and it's looking like he's already up there. We see Ramsu versus Q up at the front. Ramsu is getting a draft. Ramsu has a red, and Q is undefended. We see Gold MK up there with Q trying to defend, but the World Friend player is into 1 as Gold does hit the truck. The inside biker of Ramsu has also hit the truck. Everyone is hitting the trucks. What is going on?
Yeah. That, I mean, World Friend knows the truck patterns, and they know that the other team is just going to run into them. So that's kind of another reason that they picked this track. When I watched the BUZ versus World Friend match, World Friend just got into a very quick top 4, like around the second turn. So BUZ definitely doing some work, getting into the front here a lot better than they did in that match. It's going to be actually a quick top 3 here with nothing to hit out that third place player for BUZ. This is really good. BUZ has a couple people in the back too, so they're in prime positions to win this race right now.
Absolutely. It seems like BUZ has put in the practice on this track. They identified a weak point in their game and have made the efforts to correct that. We do see what looks like to be split odds at the bottom of this track with the moving item sets. These item boxes act like old items before the Wave 6 balance patches that made bagging a lot harder. So at the back, these players can grab these boxes as many times as they want, and until they pull a bill or a golden, they can keep rolling to potentially get a shock. And right now with this BUZ top 4, a shock is the only thing that BUZ top 5, in fact, is the only thing that can save World Friend. BUZ are playing very risky, but Gold MK is in a ghost. If shock comes now, he will be the highest dodge, and he steals a star from one of the World Friend players. He's going to be in a dodge until the end of the race. So even if the shock comes through, it won't benefit World Friend that much, but it does seem like the shock is not coming. It needs to come very, very soon if something wants to happen at the end of this race, or otherwise BUZ will walk away with a potential top 5, at least 5 of the top 6 positions, and they end up doing
top 3, 5, 6. Yeah. Wow, what an insane table turn for BUZ that race. They, like you said, identified a weak point in their gameplay, and they pushed so quickly to the front, and they were able to really dominantly hit out everyone from World Friend. And I mean, yeah, it really shows because World Friend didn't expect that at all. Like, they didn't really start heavily going for shock until first set lap 3, that was a weak point for them for sure. So BUZ definitely flipped the table there.
Absolutely. We saw BUZ playing free and risky by the end of that race. They were like, you know what? Gold has dodges. It's okay if they pull shock. Gold's going to dodge anyways. They are going for the win right now. They're going to play a risky game, and that's how BUZ has always played. Sometimes it comes to bite them in the back, but right now it is working. And I do believe that over a course of 36 races, shock luck will be evened out. So it will come down to which team can run the best. And at the moment, BUZ is proving that it's them, as it looks like they get their 3rd track pick in a row as we go to tick-tock clock for race 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if this is a track that BUZ is really good at, or if this is a track that they're wanting to take away from World Friend. Okay, so I'm getting intel that both teams are good at this track. It's pretty even for them, so I think this was definitely a safe pick going into just race 3 of the series.
Absolutely, and on a track like this, it doesn't matter as much which team is better at it, but which team is starting in top 4. There's not a single shortcut that you need a shroom to take on this track. The only shortcuts are ones that you can drive how you wish to drive, and it's easier to take these shortcuts if you're in a top position. We see Mars up there, Yoshira in 1, Mars getting hit, but managed to survive through the lag. We see a 1-4 right now, and the World Friend players need to start putting some pressure on Yoshira. We do see Q getting hit out again and again, but Yoshira makes the nisk and is in 1 with Gold in support.
Oh, fire coming in from Ramsu, that could actually be huge to hit out Gold here, and it does. It's going to be kind of a pretty safe 2-3 right now for World Friend, if they have the space to take out Q in first. We'll see if they do it. Although, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of BUZ in those mid spots.
Indeed, and with Gold getting hit out, you can see one of the major advantages of Inside Drift as we see the blue coming out and Yoshira dropping. We see the World Friend player taking it in 1, and they did not have a horn or shroom to defend. Yoshira regains his lead. He gets the box in 2nd, so he most likely has double defense now in 1. It'll take a while before BUZ can hit him out. We see Sword in the back. We see Bape with him trying to star him out, make something happen, and is now a top 2 for BUZ. This is a fantastic position. The blue, which looked so good for World Friend, has been a complete turnaround, and now BUZ are in a great position to capitalize on this race once again.
Yeah, BUZ are in dominant spots here. It looks like they're in like a top 3, 5, 7 position. Just as I say that, Tyson hits out 2 of World Friends players in the front. So this is now a top 5 for BUZ. Very dominant top 5. If Shot comes in for Q, this could be huge. And it does. Shot comes in, Q just wins this race for free. But that looks like a lot of World Friend that had to dodge in those back mid spots.
It does indeed. We see Linkos coming across the line in second with his teammate in third right behind him. And this is a fantastic salvage for World Friend. They dodged Q, but BUZ were going to get first anyways. Whether it's Q, whether it's Gold MK, it doesn't matter which one of them gets them. If they can get 2, 3, 4, it's better than a top 5 for BUZ. And they use that shock perfectly to salvage that race, keeping them in this war.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a great shock from World Friend. I mean, World Friend kind of plays like that. They know that if they just dodge one person, it's fine. They got on the mid spots. They got 2, 3, 4, 6. And that was honestly a great salvage with BUZ being top 5 going into that last turn. And honestly, really good play for Q to just use that star last set. I mean, honestly, where else are you going to use it?
Yeah, it is insane from BUZ, I think. Just they've only picked their opponent's track pick so far this match. I know you talked about how you think that's a viable strat, Miles, but I disagree. I think you should do everything you can to win match 1 of a best of 3. Put yourself in a position, put your opponents on the back foot in match 2. Have your opponents go into match 2 with the stress knowing we need to win this match, otherwise we're out. But right now it is working for BUZ, picking their opponent's track. They get another track pick. This Sydney Sprint is one of World Friend's best tracks. I'm not sure how BUZ are on it, but I assume they've practiced it and we could be seeing a race similar to Toad's Turnpike all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is honestly just a really good one to get out of the way. It really could go either way for either team. And World Friend, I think, definitely has more practice on it. They know how to play it better. So getting it out of the way, I think, is good for them, especially when they have the spots for it.
Indeed, we see Q once again. I think he's just calling them for one. We know Q is a massive grinder in this game. He's so fast. He must have practiced the BUZ picks, the World Friend picks, but he does get hit out, and we see a World Friend top 3 with Gold MK in 4th. He does pull the Christmas special. He spams it up right away, but doesn't get any players out. And now Mitz has a green, but gets ranked out and is now a World Friend top 2 only with a big shortcut coming out. So let's see if BUZ can capitalize on this shortcut.
Yeah, that rank coming in, it could have done more work if Yoshiro had that last shot rang, but hitting out one of them, unfortunate over-aggression for Gold. They're getting hit out, but he's probably going to be looking to shock now. We know that Gold is very comfortable shock bagging for them. He doesn't stop. He doesn't have much distance, honestly. I think that if he does want to kind of kill out that top 2 for World Friend, he does want to stop a little bit harder to go for shock. It is the bottom 3 right now for BUZ.
Absolutely, we do see the point of view swapping over to Q, who's also going for shock now. In the past, Q has been criticized for running every race, sometimes the detriment of his team, but we do see a new and improved Q ready to win D2. Q will do whatever it takes to win D2. This is awesome to see, but he now has a star and he's taking the star up. He's up into 8 right now, but it does look like a World Friend top 4 at the moment. We do see Scar up in the mix. We do see the blue shell coming, but Scar gets hit out as World Friend top 5. Shock needs to come very, very soon for BUZ. They are in a position to capitalize if they pull, and they do indeed. We see all their players getting shocked after set. They're going to be smalling for long enough that they won't make it to the ladder in time. The bill is coming up for Babe. We see Soren dodging, however, and taking out Yoshira. This is not looking that bad for World Friend despite the BUZ favored shock.
Yeah. Depends, what those dodgers have and if they can hit them out of the tops. So it looks like it's a top 3 right now for World Friend. Looks like it's only just a 3-5-6 for BUZ, but I mean that's a decent salvage with World Friend being top 5 at one point.
Absolutely,
yeah, 3, 5, 6, 7, not too bad.
Yeah, a top 2-4 is always a gaining race, but it is only a small gain. It's a lot less than what a top 5 would have been if World Friend were allowed to run that race uncontested at the end. So strong salvage from BUZ, but the picking of the World Friend tracks might be coming to bite them. I mean, it's all good using, your opponent's tracks, but if they're up 1-0 in the set, they just need to win one match at the final 2 and they're there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was really, really good. It was scary for World Friend to leave BUZ in bottom 3, or at least 3 of bottom 4. I think when you're top 5 on a track like that, I think that if you're going into lap 3, I think you need to send your 5th place player back to at least pull a dodge, at least kind of keep an eye on them and maybe disrupt those odds. But I think that when I think it was Linkos hit out Scar in that ghost, that was a really good play, and I think that kind of forced their hand to make it a little bit too late for them to send someone back. But yeah, I mean, it was really well played from BUZ, honestly.
Absolutely. I do think we've seen both teams so far running 5. I think both teams are trying to get big races, set up big leads, and it is risky, but it can pay off well. BUZ has lost the past few races, but because of how well they did on TikTok clock, they still have a 10-point lead. And yes, you might lose some points, but if you're top 5 that far gone, a shock won't completely ruin it. It's only if there's a double shock happening. And the chances of that, while they are there, are low, and it might be worth the risk as we see both teams believing in playing the risky game.
Yeah, and I like the risky game going for at least the first match. It's good to kind of send those group runs, see if they'll work, see how you can kind of counter the other team, and if you can get good races off of it. And obviously, it's been working as they've been getting some pretty big swings.
Absolutely. I mean, I think if a player in 4th or 5th pulls something like triple mushrooms or Rang or fire, they should absolutely slow down and take the opponents out. But if no one has the items to hit out the players and they keep running, it can work. If they're shrooming up, if they're making up time, they're going to be in a good position. But as we see right now, we see Mars with triple greens behind Q. Q concedes the position, but gets hit by the green anyways. But his teammate still is in 1. We see a 1-3-5 for BUZ. Mars gets hit out. It is a very great breakaway for the BUZ player in 1 right now. The cut is coming up, but the lead is bigger than the cut is. He is going to remain in first no matter what, and we see a pretty split bottom at the tail end of this race.
Mm-hmm. Mars stealing Q's box there was actually huge. Q has nothing for this entire section, and World Friend's just going to be 2-3-4 here the entire time. Triple reds is a very lucky pull for Q here. Yeah, he's unfortunately not going to be able to hit out Mars, as Mars pulled a bomb triple nanas, which is a huge pull for them in 2-3.
Indeed, yeah, as we head on to the end of the race, it is looking fairly even so far, as we've seen in this war in general. Q pulls triple reds again, and I don't think Mars has the facilities to defend it this time. As we see Mars getting hit out, we see the bomb narrowly missing Q. That's a great dodge. He's had some amazing dodges of items this race. We see Yoshira with a red, but he's opting not to throw it because Q is too close. This is looking like a top 3 for BUZ right now. A sudden reversal at the very end. Those triple reds from Q were instrumental in flipping how the race worked.
That was a masterclass performance from BUZ there. Honestly, that was insanely lucky that Q pulled 7 reds behind World Friend's 2-3. It took him every single red to hit out that 2-3, and they actually got a top 3 out of it. That was huge to see. Unfortunate for World Friend, but yeah, I mean they did a good job pulling those defenses, but unfortunately it just was not enough to get rid of BUZ's million reds behind them.
Indeed. I mean, I think that race, what it came down to, Q narrowly dodged both a banana and a bomb. The Nana at the very start of lap 3, the bomb near the tail end. If he gets hit by just one of those items, BUZ probably gets top 3'd in return. So Q's quick reactions are so huge right now for the team, as we do see one of the streams going down. But we've got other point of views, no worry. As we go over to World Front, deliberating on what track to pick, they do go back to Twisted Mansion. Like we said earlier, another great track to shroom up on.
Yeah, someone's pretty mad about those reds, so mad that they turned off their stream. But so I wanna do some glazing here. I don't think that Q would have been able to pull off those risky lines in that maneuvering if he wasn't on Scooty. I think that he definitely would have ran into that Nana on the first set of lap 3 double if he was on Teddy. So that's a big testament to the kind of hitbox type of differential.
I think you have a point there. I do think it is working for Q because he has the skill to pilot that vehicle, and I don't think everyone has the skill to pilot the vehicle. I do realize this is a slight jab at me for swapping to Teddy, but I don't have the skill yet to play Scooty. Maybe one day. But one thing I want to point out in this war is BUZ has been criticized a lot for being very shock reliant. I've heard it a lot when people talk about BUZ. They've not pulled shock once this war, and they're up almost 40, which is just shows how much they've practiced, how ready they are for this match.
I mean, all in all, it hasn't really been a shock-heavy war at all until kind of like a last set situation. So there hasn't been a lot of strategy revolving around using really good shocks. It's been kind of some pretty big swings with teams kind of group running. But yeah, I mean, this is a comfort track for World Friend, but they are only in one here with BUZ all behind them. So we'll see kind of how that pays off.
They are, but Linkos does have the blue shell. If his teammate gets hit out in one, he can instantly punish. I don't know if BUZ are aware of this, as we see Gold trying to take him out. Yoshira is going through potentially with a red to take out the player, or because he has a shroom to dodge that incoming blue, but the World Friend player keeps one. Gold backs a bomb in the tight corridors of the mansion, and this is looking very, very good for BUZ right now. They have a player stuck in the back. Q throws at the bomb, but misses. It explodes on the wall. 2, 3, 4 right now. If they can shroom up and get this player out, this is looking really, really good. He does have the horn in one. The shock is coming out now. I believe that is a World's Friend shock, as a
Yeah, I
lot of
think
their
so.
players have dodged. They're coming up to support their player in one. Here comes the horn from Yoshira, taking out his own teammate. But this looks like World Friend 5 of top 6 right now. Can Yoshiro survive the onslaught? It does look like he's been hit.
Yeah, I mean, that horn was really unfortunate. I think Yoshiro was actually being redded when the horn came, and he just couldn't avoid Q there.
Yes, we see Gold going into a Ghost at the end of the race. Not Gold, Q going into a Ghost at the end of the race. He pulls fire, but is unable to hit. And this looks like a fantastic race from World Friend. A top 5
5.
on Twisted Mansion. This is why they picked this track. BUZ has
Yep,
struggled
yep.
on this track in the past, and BUZ are struggling on this track today.
That's a huge swing back from World Friend, and I was gonna say literally just as I was gonna say, shock came right, but I was gonna say, I'm wondering why Mars isn't just letting them into first and just throwing the blue, because he was the only top spot there, and they needed to catch up. But yeah, I mean, I guess my answer was, well, they had shock and they're gonna call it right here, and that was a really good shock for them, as they were able to kind of dismantle those tops for BUZ.
It was indeed, and we are at the halfway point of this war, and it is a 6-point war. We could not ask for a better matchup on Primetime right now. However, we see World Friend deliberating on what to pick. A lot of their tracks have been played so far this match. We've pretty much only played tracks that World Friend loves, but we see the Sunshine Airport coming out from them. In the past matchup between these two teams, it was a very close matchup all the way through until World Friend got Sunshine Airport and got a plus 32 on it, completely turning the war around. But we do see Trainbow being picked. BUZ is safe from the airport for now. Let's see what these teams can do here.
Yeah, this is a really crucial pick from BUZ. I think they have the spots for it, but do they have the skill and the practice to kind of swing back on World Friend? Because historically, World Friend has done a lot better than BUZ on this track specifically.
Absolutely. I mean, World Friend, with all their experience playing this game, like we talked about, they're so good on the original 48 tracks, and they have made those tracks, their masterpieces. That's what they can do. BUZ, newer team, they're a little bit better on DLC, but they're still very, very strong. But on one of these tracks, we're definitely looking at World Friend with the advantage. But this track is unique in that there's not too much driving tech on it apart from the smart steering. It's more just about raw lines. And if you can have raw lines, like great lines, you're going to be in a great position here.
Yeah. And I was going to say, this section that we just passed is kind of like what will paint the picture for this track in specific. It looks like it is some World Friend in the front, but it looks like, again, a lot of BUZ in the mid-pack. Mixed spots still. There's a couple BUZ that are like pretty far back in bottom 2. So maybe they're looking for shock. Maybe they're just kind of back there, seeing what they can pull.
Indeed, in his split tops right now, we see the World Friend player in first, but we see a lot of BUZ players behind him. Linkos and Razop are in support, but neither of them have Ramsu are in support. Neither of them have items to hit out the players. We see the World Friend player in one getting hit out. We see Gold pulling out triple nanas. If he can get hits with these, that's going to be really, really big for his team as we're heading through to the end of the race. Right now, I do believe this looks like a win for BUZ right now.
I think it's a lot of BUZ in the front, actually. Okay, just top 2. The 3, 4, 5 after is a good salvage for World Friend, because they were in the front a lot of that race, but BUZ did a really good job of dismantling that top 2 that World Friend had in the front. So once again, I mean, we're getting kind of down to the wire here for our first match. Things are kind of getting settled, and it's becoming a very close match. Just before that race, it was only a 6-point differential in BUZ's favor, so it's still going to be another pretty close race. Yeah, so that'll be a +2 race for in BUZ's favor. So it's still going to be just a +8 differential.
And we see BUZ still picking World Friend tracks. This is I'm still not a fan of this strategy, but they are proving me wrong. They are making it work really, really well. I do think, what point do BUZ start picking their best tracks? You know, if it's tied with 2 races left, 3 races left, are they going to start picking their tracks? We still have 5 races left right now, but will BUZ shift to their tracks?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious, kind of like what strategy BUZ will be pulling out for track picks towards the end of this first match. You know, I mean, they're still in a position to win this, obviously, but do they want to start burning World Friends tracks yet or no? Is the question.
Indeed, I mean, I think right now at this stage of the match, with both teams very clearly able to win, it's going to come down to the tracks, honestly. And right now, as we see, BUZ, we're in a good position to start that track, but World Friend have taken the top spots. They're 1-3 right now. Gold MK is sandwiched between the 2 Black Yoshis of World Friend. He's going for the double so he can make something happen, but we do see a 1-3-4 right now for World Friend. Will Linkos throw up this green? No, he gets backed anyways by Mars, and this is now top 3 by World Friend. World Friend went for the risky play, and it paid off huge as they're in a dominant position on this track. It is so hard to pull shock here, but BUZ will likely need it if they want to make their way back into this race.
Yeah, and not only is it hard to pull shock on this track, it's hard to use an effective shock if you do pull it. You know, but a lot of times by the time you pull shock, the other team is pretty dominant in their top spots, and that's kind of just what we're looking at here for World Friend.
Indeed, we do see Gold hitting the plant out with the horn. We see a BUZ player and a World Friend player very far back, but it is World Friend shock being pulled. They shock their players right into the glider. Their players are not going to lose any speed, and all the BUZ players got hit on that little platform, so they're stuck with the maximum time of their slowness. We do see Linkos with a horn. Top 3 still is forced to burn it by Q throwing up greens, but still retains his red shell, which is defense. If Yoshira doesn't get defense behind these shrooms, Linkos can just immediately red him after the cut, and it will be like he never cut at all. This is so strong for World Friend. They've got some players in the mid pack as well. Linkos opts to slow down to hit Yoshira out. Shrooms up anyways. Gold MK is making stuff happen up into second, but is itemless and outcoined right now by Linkos. It will all depend on what he pulls at this final set. Let's see what he can pull here. Can he make something happen? But no, Mars gets a fantastic back on him.
Insane back. And Mars has another red here. Fire coming in. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's gonna be a top 3 right now for World Friend. Unfortunately, Linkos does get red on the line. Just the top 2 for World Friend. Yeah, let's see. What did the spots end up being? Yeah, top 2, 4. That's still gonna be a winning race for World Friend as BUZ does get a bottom 2 there. And I want to praise that shock usage. That was huge for World Friend to keep their top spots. Like I said, it's really hard to use an effective shock, but World Friend definitely did use an effective shock there, as they were able to call their top players into the glider there to minimize kind of the effect of what a shock would have been for the top spots. They saw BUZ had a player that was very far back, just kind of killing their race to go for shock, and World Friend said, you know what, we need to use it here just before they pull it. They're not in dodges, go for it. And it worked out really well for them.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to use a good shock on Sunshine Airport when you want it to be a terrible shock intentionally. And they did so. Yeah. It was a horrible shock by all metrics, but that was what World Friend wanted. And as a result, they take the lead for the first time this match. And now, once they're in the lead, we see BUZ picking BUZ tracks rather than World Friend tracks. They might be regretting that Sunshine Airport pick just a little bit, but it is off the board and it cannot be picked in any of the last 28 races of this war.
Yeah, man. And just before that race, it was an 8-point differential in BUZ's favor, and then it's swung right back to an 8-point differential in World Friend's favor as we get into Hyrule here.
Indeed, we're starting off well on Hyrule. This is one of World Friend's best runners. Anything base game, any base game runner, they are so good at. And it's looking like it's the case here, as they have a top 3-5 already to start the race off. We see a very close pack as one of them gets hit out, and BUZ are reversing it very quickly. We see a BUZ player trailing. Is Linkos going to get hit out, or will he survive this red shell? And Bape is now in the lead of this race as we see Linkos getting hit out. Just like that, BUZ have turned things around, looking from like the lead was going to get extended to them turning it right back around.
Yeah, it's looks like BUZ in top 2-4 here. BUZ does have some players in the back, but the pack is extremely close. No one's going to be at distance for Shock here. Yeah, BUZ is just going to want to protect this. Soren has a red, but he does throw it too early, as Gold does have some fire left to defend.
Yes, we see Linkos getting hit out again. This looks very, very strong for BUZ. We only see one BUZ player stopping. We see the theme of 5 run, 1 bag. We see the blue shell coming in, but Bape does have a red in second. Will he be able to hit this horn? A horn. He does manage to land the horn, and BUZ maintain their top 3. Massive break. If the World Friend player behind him doesn't pull triple reds, I fail to see what will hit him out. And never mind, that is a top 4. The minimap was lagging. We need the Daisy player to pull triple reds if they want to make something happen this race. Otherwise, BUZ will regain the lead of this race. Shot comes, it comes now, getting top 4 after set. Hold your breath. But it is not here, and this is looking great for BUZ right now.
Yeah, I mean, it could get this 2-3-4 before Nisk, but it doesn't look like World Friend has it. They needed it really bad, and yeah, this top 5 is dominant for BUZ.
Dude, this looks really, really good for them. Here.
Yeah, that's just a clear top 5 for BUZ. Well done. Yeah, you know, that player in last that was billing at last set lap 2 into first set lap 3, I don't think that bill let them out before first set. And if it did, they definitely weren't going to be at distance to pull Shock. So I was kind of holding my breath a little bit because I don't think that I just didn't think that they were going to pull it, and they didn't.
No, I believe that's an extension right there. So they did skip the set. It is really tough to pull Bill right there, and Hyrule's another track that's pretty hard to pull Shock on. It has one of the best Shock spots in the game if you can pull. And BUZ was, doing everything they could to let them pull, giving them triple odds. The 5-run meta is being progressed in this very match as we speak. And now we see the first pick from World Friend that isn't a base game track. They are fantastic on LA laps. They've been improving. They've been building a repertoire of tour tracks, and this is one of them that they want to make work, and one that they can make work very, very well with 2 big shroom ups right at the start. Only the second one really being used outside of time trials, but still that shroom up is so powerful. It's like Twisted Mansion all over again, and they could get a big race. However, we do see Piranha Plant slide. BUZ is back to picking World Friend tracks after a 1 race break of Mushroom Gorge. This is risky with an inside-in lineup, but with top 5, it's going to be very, very hard to break their tops. If BUZ pull any attack items at the start and hit out the World Friend players, it won't even matter about that shroom up cut at the end of the race as we see the race getting started.
Yeah, top 5 for this track makes me extremely nervous. And just as I say that, Q getting bumped out as he was trying to go middle, but it does look like they hold a top 3 just barely. But yeah, this is still going to be pretty scary going to this next turn, as World Friend is very, very comfortable on this track. This is one of their main runners, and I'm not sure if this pick will pay off for BUZ, but we'll see.
Indeed, and we see Q getting his teammate out with his own green shell at the start. It's smart to play risky, and it's smart to go for hits, but it can be punishing. Will we see Q make a play before Cut trying to back them? We see none of the BUZ players in top 3 going for a Cut, but Soren has a shroom and is shrooming up. He's slowing down with his greens to take out the BUZ player. This is looking slightly better for World Friend, but BUZ is still 1-3 right now. 1-3-4-5. Right now, it is just Mars at the top. He has a red shell. There's a green shell coming from. Will it bounce and hit him? Q has a red shell. The red shell is up, but Mars manages to survive, and Q makes a slight line fail that's so uncharacteristic for him, and is now leaving his teammates 1-3 without much support.
Now, see, if I'm Q here, I'm dropping to 9th. I see that one player for World Friend in 9th, and I think that we just need to disrupt their odds to pull a Shock here. And just as I say that, yeah, he does get hit out, but World Friend is in bottom 2 as they're going for Shock here.
We see BUZ retaking top 2 right there. One of the World Friend players cut up but gets hit out, but Linkos does have the Shock, and BUZ is unaware. But Gold is stopping. Gold has no doubt seen the Shock. We will see the BUZ players go into dodge very soon. We see a blue and a Shock being held. So many BUZ players are in dodge right now. The Shock cannot come, but can Soren pull something to dodge? No, he pulls a plant. The Shock comes through. Was that a BUZ Shock? Did they pull and spam it? Because that looked to very much so benefit BUZ right there.
I think it might have. BUZ were the only dodgers. Oh, there is a Ghost that dodged for World Friend, so they are up in first. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, it looked like a lot of BUZ dodged that.
I think that might have been World Friend Shock, though. They do get the top 2. They had to rip it because even if they pull dodges that late into the race at the final set, they're not going to be any use. I think they cut their losses short. They decided to use the dodges they had before BUZ could get any more, and it did salvage a top 2, but with 4 of bottom 5, it's not enough to even be a gain as BUZ extends their lead slightly.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
now,
we'll take a winning race if we're World Friend there, I think.
yeah, World Friend, it's not a winning race for World Friend. It's a +2 for BUZ, a slight gain. And as we head into the crunch time of this match, 2 races to go, still a 1-race game. BUZ can win it here, but it's not over yet by any means. They're up 26 at the moment. I'm not quite sure. Is Grumble Volcano a BUZ track or is it a World Friend track?
That's a BUZ track.
It's a BUZ track. Okay, yeah. BUZ are picking their tracks. So BUZ have decided, like I predicted, they want to win the match now. They've burnt enough of World Friend tracks, and we do see the Excite Bike pick coming in. All these players are super active in Lounge. They play so much Lounge so they can improve their individual skill at the game. So all these players will no doubt be very experienced on it. I'm not sure which team this pick benefits more. It could go any way. Shock feels like it's very hard to pull on this track, so it's important to get a lead early here. Let's see what the players can do, as Q, unfortunately for himself, doesn't pull a shroom, but he has a green, and he's done very clean ramp strats and is now top 2 before the cut, but Linkos makes his way into 1.
The tactical slowdown on his line there to get that draft off of Tyson was pretty huge. World Friend did jump into 1-3 here as they did shroom up. Red does skip. Linkos has nothing in first, so he's vulnerable for now. And a green does come in as I say that. Q, oh my god, yeah. His defense got hit on Linkos' dead body if he gets redded for it. It's still going to be a top 3 right now for BUZ, though, as Tyson decides to stop on his teammate.
That's an interesting play from Tyson. I think he was getting the blue. It does suck for Gold in the end, but Gold is now in the back. He's providing back presence for BUZ, which I feel like they've missed just a little bit this war, as they have been outshocked by World Friend. We see the BUZ player in 1 with a breakaway thanks to Tyson's horn, but we do see a lot of World Friend players bearing down here. If Soren can chain his shroom into set and get some reds behind it, this is looking very, very good. Linkos as well. If either of them can get some reds, they can coordinate really, really well. The first red comes out from Linkos. Soren has another. The bomb is in the middle, but Linkos is opting to continue on. He wants to catch Bape himself. He's not trusting his teammate to red. We see Linkos. He's shrooming up cut. He has a red. I don't think Bape has defense. Bape does have defense. I lied. Bape does get hit as he backs his Nana at set. This is now a top 2 for World Friend. This is setting up for a fantastic final race. Almost tied going in, but Soren gets green.
Yeah, that green was huge. You know, I mean, that was a really risky play from Bape, but I feel like he had to make it. He saw the shrooms from Linkos. He assumed he didn't have a red, but he had a red. Oh, he had a red behind his shrooms. Gold getting back through triples. That was... you don't see that every day. You know, that doesn't happen all the time. A top 3. That's a pretty decent swing from World Friend on BUZ's track pick. Yeah, I mean, that's going to bring it a lot closer going into the last race. So honestly, this is still anybody's game going into the last race here.
You have to feel for Gold in that race. That's one of those races where if you're a man with, you know, weak moral composition, that's when you type in lounge chat, sorry, can't. But I know Gold is a stronger man than that. He's just, you know, focusing on the final race of the war. It all comes down to this one. You need to shake off the tilt in moments like those. Yes, you're unlucky, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. There is a whole team of 6 players, and if you bring the mood down, it can affect everyone. And we go into the final race with a 12-point gap. BUZ and World Friend. BUZ opt to go with Gorge, which does often give big races. We see World Friend going with Madrid, which is very inside friendly for their inside player in lineup.
Yeah, Gorge is a good pick for BUZ here, I think. Yeah, I mean, you know, that was a very tilting race for Gold. I'm going to bring it back to that for a second, because on beginning of lap 2, he gets stop horned by his teammate. I know I did see the blue. He was trying to win the blue, but still, the fact that it's your teammate that's kind of stopping in the middle of the road with the horn and then getting green through your triples at the end, it's just not what you want to see, man. It's devastating a little bit.
It's very unlucky, but the focus needs to be on this upcoming race. All the players know what's at stake here. Going up 1-0 in a series as close as this, especially winning this close a war, is so big for both teams. World Friend want to win this because they have used a majority of their track picks this match. They're going to struggle to win 2 more games in this series if they don't win this one. On the other hand, BUZ, they've played so risky this match. They've burned World Friend track picks, but for it to all be for nothing would be very, very harsh for BUZ. But one team is going to walk away from this race the winner, and the other one without a win on the board. World Friend have a great start on this track, but Q, being such a great lounge player, has a star in second right there. Linkus needs to be scared of Q. If Shock gets pulled at this broken set, Q is going to be in such a good position, but it does look like split odds. Either team could pull Shock, and this race is going to come down to who pulls it.
It looks like BUZ is in insane spots here. They have dodges in 2-4. And Gold, I'm surprised that he went for that strat, but I mean, it worked out. But Shock doesn't seem to be in play right now. Maybe World Friend has it. Maybe they pull it here. No, they still don't have it. BUZ in top 2. They need to use a Shock, and they need to get them after set, like now, or else it's going to be curtains for World Friend here.
They need to go before Q gets into dodge. Q is going to dodge as soon as he gets to that third mushroom in the cave. Watch the minimap. He is in dodge right now. This is probably the end of the war for World Friend. Even if they Shock right now, which they do, Q makes it over Gat, secures that first. They need every spot behind Q right now if they want to win this war. A lot of BUZ players have died, but that top two for BUZ will be enough.
Yeah, looks like a top 2-4, so I think that is going to close it out for BUZ. Yeah, that's going to do it for BUZ in our first match. So congrats to BUZ for taking the first match, but we still have 1 or potentially 2 matches left.
BUZ played such an incredible game plan there. Like, I am in awe. I would never do something that risky, but they had faith in themselves. They had faith they could pull off the win playing their opponent's tracks. It's clear they've practiced for it, and this has paid off so well as they look to be in a great position now in match 2 and potentially match 3. They can pick all their best tracks. We'll be seeing 8-Bow coming out soon. We'll be seeing some other BUZ specials, Dragon Driftway, and they don't have to worry about saving track picks because they just need to win 1 game now.
Oh yeah, totally. And I was holding my breath a little bit during that last race because I'm not sure about just quote unquote playing lounge when you're playing Gorge in a war. I usually send all players to kind of just all run at the beginning, and then whoever gets hit out, they can bag at like last set lap 1 or first set lap 2. But they decided to run up dodges like ASAP, and I'm interested about that play because that did actually end up working out for them.
It did indeed. We are going to take a break for now, but we will see some more crazy, fantastic plays from both teams as we get into match 2 on the top of the hour. So enjoy your break, get some water, get some food, whatever you need. We can't wait to see you back soon.
Yeah, see you in a few minutes.
Hello, and welcome back to match 2 of Division 2 semifinals between BUZ and World Friend. The match we just watched could only be described as absolute cinema. The whole match had both of us, Miles and I, on the edge of our seats with all the crazy shenanigans that were happening. And right now, it seems like BUZ are just in a fantastic position going into match 2. What are you thinking, Miles, right now?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, you can see that BUZ got a majority of the track picks. They got 9 track picks in this last war. But the thing is that they were kind of picking mostly tracks that World Friend picks, right? So if you look at it that way, it's kind of majority of World Friend's track picks are kind of out the window because of this first match. And BUZ ended up winning the war on majority World Friend track picks. So the story here is, can World Friend do the same? Can they flip it? We're going to see a lot of BUZ's track picks in this war because, they have a lot of tracks left that they're comfortable on. We still have Dragon on the board. We still have Moo on the board. We still have DK Mountain, tracks like that. And if World Friend can kind of get some winning races on tracks that BUZ is comfortable on, then that's going to kind of be a testament to, what's going to be happening in that third match.
Indeed. I mean, I think the fact of last match is both teams are picking World Friend track picks, And
Mhm.
it didn't really matter which team got their track picks in terms of that. World Friend track picks were used out of 11 of the 12 races. The only track pick that BUZ frequently plays and picks against World Friend is Mushroom Gorge. Every track played, apart from Gorge, was either a base game or a city track, both of World Friend's specialties. And World Friend might be running out of runners, as it was mostly runners that got picked this match. Another storyline going into this match is that BUZ did make a substitution. I believe Scar is being subbed out for Jordan on the side of BUZ. So two
Mhm.
very, very similar players in play style. I don't think it'll make much impact on how BUZ plays. I think they're great with both those players, but it is a slight change, and maybe World Friend will see that and hoping they can capitalize, as I believe they have the same 6 players in this match. And there we go. We see Jordan, another Scooty player, Gold MK alone in a sea of Scooties. I mean, I know you're a Scooty fan. You're spreading the Scooty
Mhm.
propaganda, but I don't know. I think the Teddy works. The increased weight. Golden K is able to bump other players out. He's able to bully other players out at the start of each race and get into good positions, as we saw in some of those races. Gold MK putting on a fantastic performance last match. And
Yeah,
here
I
we
mean,
go.
I definitely do spread some Scooty propaganda, of course, but if you can play on either combo, then fair enough. Honestly, it's all up to personal preference because the combos themselves are pretty close in stats, way different than what the old meta used to be with Waluigi Wiggler and like Roy Scooty. Like those were completely different. But Teddy and Scooty on Yoshi are a lot closer now. So, anyways, yeah. So this bracket here, we're gonna have to see who's gonna win between BUZ and World Friend, and who will be going up against GGL in the finals on Sunday, June 1st.
Indeed. I mean, right now, it's looking like BUZ is the favorite. Like we said, we've played World Friend tracks pretty much mostly. However, GGL in the final, whichever team makes it, will have a mountain to climb against that team. They've been so fantastic in Division 2. And I think most Division 2 players, fans will tell you that GGL started off poorly, but since then, since their poor start, they've just been fantastic. They've been unbeatable. They've not lost a match in weeks in D2, and
Mm-hmm.
they're definitely
Mm-hmm.
the team to beat. And both teams will be very much needing to prep if they want to beat GGL in finals.
Yeah, they definitely had to find their footing to kind of get comfortable with the teams that they were playing, and obviously they did. As they're going to be in finals. Yeah, but I mean, we've seen 2-1 swings from the losing team before. So it's going to be interesting to see. Not if, but how World Friend is going to swing back on BUZ when a lot of their track picks have been taken. But I believe that if anyone can do it, it's the group of friends in World Friend, that have been playing together for years, right? So if yeah, like I said, if anyone can do it, then they can do it. But I'm interested.
Absolutely. I mean, both teams have the pace. I thought coming in this war would be fairly shock reliant, for in terms of good races. But in that last war, the teams that started off well in each race won each race. The only race that got turned around by a shock was Twisted Mansion. And that is a track with a lot of shortcuts that you can take if you have mushrooms and other items, which the BUZ players lost when the shock happened. So I think we will see more of the same this war. The team that can outrun and get good footing at the start of each race will be the team that will win the majority of the races and take home this match.
Yeah, definitely. So we do have 11 in the room right now, according to our stream host. I mean, let's get that 12th player in, man. I want to start watching some
I'm
Mario Kart.
excited. I want to get into this.
Yes.
It was such a good match, the match before. BUZ, especially picking World Fed track picks. I was tearing my hair out over it because I thought it was a very, very risky strategy. I was not buying into the BUZ strategy, but they've made it work. They've made a fool out of me. And they're now in like the best position a team probably has ever been in after winning match 1 of an MKU best of 3, because they've played one of their tracks. They've played one track that they regularly pick. World Friend has played 11. So if BUZ, they just need to win one match. They're just gonna go, full pedal to the metal. If they could just pick their tracks, if they can get as many track picks as they got in the last match, they're going to be in a very, very strong position. I think World Friend are going to struggle to take back the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, BUZ definitely does have their foot on World Friend's neck right now, but I think, like I said, World Friend can definitely bring it back. But I think it's going to be they're going to have a challenge ahead of them.
Indeed. I mean, like you said, this player needs to get in this lobby. I'm
Mhm.
not the most patient man. I'm looking forward to this. I mean, it's been a crazy season. In this league, every division has had some cinema. We saw in D1 Bree. They lost Arcadia final match of the regular season, which was a shock to many, but they proved that was just a fluke. They came back. They're in finals. They're looking to play Zenith in the finals, which is another strong team next in line to challenge Bree. Maybe they can pull it off. Who knows?
Mhm. Yeah, one thing I want to point out is that there was, I think, 4 or 5 teams that went undefeated during the regular season, 7-0, winning every match in the regular season, and they actually lost in their semifinals. So, a lot of people are saying that 7-0 is a curse, right? Having a perfect record in the regular season is a curse for semifinals.
Yeah, I believe Dragnir and D19 was the only team to break the 7-0 curse so far. They still have finals to
Mm,
play, of course. However, both teams that made the playoffs 3 and 4, Max Ambition and Solar both won their playoff semifinal match yesterday, proving that, the regular season is a completely different beast to playoffs. Playoffs, you need a very, very deep bag to win. And I think the
mhm,
teams that have the deep bags are going to be strong in playoffs. And I think BUZ right now, back to this match, have shown they have the deepest bag of maybe any team out there. Showing up like that on tracks that World Friend has been playing for years, and showing them who's boss is incredible from BUZ. I really
mhm.
I still can't get over their strategy. I'm just shocked. I think it's gonna be. I think it's put them in a good position. I've said this before, but I cannot understate, how
Yeah.
strong that win was for them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't think World Friend's out right now. Like we said, they have the experience. They've won D1 so many times before. They have the experience playing at this level. Okay, we are now getting into this match. World
Woohoo! Let's
Friend, the
go.
host of this match. I'm curious what they pick now. We're almost out of base game runners. I mean, we've got Music Park, Cloud Top Cruise left over, but Cloud Top Cruise,
So
DK
yeah.
Jungle, but both of those are not super inside drift friendly.
Music Park is a lot worse for Inward than DKJ and Cloud Top. DKJ especially, I think, is pretty even, honestly, for Inward and Outward. You just have that super bounce, but it's at the beginning of the track for both Cloud Top and DKJ, so it doesn't matter too much. It just depends on how the rest of the race shakes out.
We do see the Madrid pick in 1, as well as the Moo Meadows pick from BUZ, which is not selected. Both of these very, very inside friendly. I don't think BUZ has got the memo that they can stop picking World Friend tracks. I know they're good at Moo Meadows, but so is World Friend. They're both very,
Yeah.
very good at that track. I guess BUZ just believe they're better, and they have shown in the past they are better on World Friend tracks. But as we start on Madrid, one of the other city track specials of World Friend. But it seems like BUZ is off to a strong start. The World Friend player gets hit out, and BUZ is top 3 already.
Yeah, Soren actually switched combos. He was on Biddy this last war, and now he's on Teddy. We'll see if that works out for him. Yeah, Mar is able to hold first here. As this was his track pick for, I think it was like 1678 for World Friend. A lot of buzz behind Mars. They might have even hit out Mars actually. Yeah, they did. So it's going to be a top 4-ish for Buzz.
And Q is now slowing down to hit the World Friend players out. This is very, very smart of him. BUZ did the 5-run special last race, or war, sorry, but it seems like they are playing safer this war. They have the lead. They don't need big races. They just want slow, incremental progress to win this war. They're playing a lot more methodical. We're seeing a new BUZ. However, them changing up their style could be killer to them, as their crazy style last match is what won them the match. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe this playstyle will work. Maybe it's smart, but maybe they're just changing what doesn't need to be changed right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, World Friend needs Shock here really bad. They got blue, that's good, but Shock is going to be kind of what is the game changer here. The back on that World Friend player, that's just unfortunate if you're a World Friend fan, because BUZ is very dominant in this top 3-5 here. There is triple greens and 5 that do come in, hitting Linkos out. Shock does come in at unfortunate red, but it does shock all of those BUZ players after set. It's going to depend on who dodged from World Friend. It looks like they had 3 dodges, so they might be able to catch up here. This Rang here could do some work for Q.
Yeah, I was going to say the Daisy player for World Friend went around cut, and they weren't holding blue because the blue was already out, so they must have had Shock. And if BUZ were looking at the minimap, they knew it was coming, and they were ready for that. So World Friend choreographed their Shock, they gave it away, and this is looking so good for BUZ. Q lands a marvelous Rang throw. He has a Nana, but opts not to use it. Jordan in first on his first race in the war. Who needs warm-up?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan's on a perfect record now. Like, you can't even argue that. But yeah, like that rank play was huge. That was great coordination with Q and Jordan there, just telling Jordan to go slightly left, and he was going to use his last rank shot on the one remaining World Friend player that was still kind of up there. That shot kind of it did do work, but it could have been a lot better, as Linkos did get redded, unfortunately, before or after the shot came in. He couldn't do much about that, and I don't know what happened to the other dodgers. I thought there was 3 dodgers for World Friends, so maybe they just got hit out. Maybe there was ground items. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I mean, BUZ capitalized. It did limit the damage somewhat, as 10 points is nowhere near an unclimbable deficit. As we saw last war, both of the teams got multiple races above 10 points. That could be erased in just one race. And we see BUZ was picking Mumu last race. Now we're back to World Friend. They're picking Mumu. Both teams want to play this track. If we get DK Jungle, I want to see Mumu, because both teams have put a lot on it. If they were gambling teams, they both would have bet big on it. Both teams think they're the better team on it, but we're not going to know unless it gets selected. And I think that question will have a very interesting answer.
Yeah, man, I wanna see it too. Another fun fact I wanna point out is that World Friend has only been up for 1 race in this entire series so far, and it was after Sunshine Airport in the last war. So BUZ is definitely continuing their streak of keeping their foot on the gas and their other foot on World Friend's neck here, as they're kind of staying in a really dominant kind of presence.
Indeed, I mean, like you said, World Friend hasn't led, but they've never been out of it once. They've always been the chasing team, which is a little bit harder to do in this game, in my opinion. You have to play for bigger races. You have to play riskier. You have to go for those top 5 runs a little bit more if you're trying to make up a deficit. But BUZ also have been playing like they're a trailing team this whole time. They're not taking their foot off the gas. They're not taking their foot off World Friend's neck, like you said. And it's looking really good. Once again, they start off very strong with the top 2 in this race. As we head on to lap 2, we see what looks to be BUZ 3 of bottom 4 right now. They are in prime position to pull Shock and make nothing happen with it, as they want with this top 2 currently.
Yeah, this is a pretty dominant top 2, but it is everything after for World Friend right now, so it does depend on what Mars can do to hit out that second place player and eventually that first place player, hopefully.
Indeed, we are in a little bit of a lull in this race. Not much is happening at the front, with World Friend 3, 4, 5, 6 at the moment. The player in 3 is not quite pulling the items to hit out the BUZ players, and Linkos is a little too far behind to be using those reds on the BUZ players. This race will come down to if a team pulls Shock or not. Otherwise, Q has a bomb. He hits out Mars, but this means Linkos is now free to throw his red. He does not get a second one, and Q will no doubt block that red. It looks like the BUZ players are making their way up the field. We see 3 of World Friend at bottom 4 right now. This is looking very strong for BUZ. We need to see something special. Linkos has the 3rd throw of Rang on deck. The Rang goes up, but it goes above Q's head. Linkos was a little too high when he threw that Rang. There's a Nana in the middle, but Linkos dodges it, and this is a BUZ top 2. Another great race for them as they extend their lead in match 2.
That looks like close to a bottom 4 for World Friend as well. Yeah, it's 3 of bottom 4 for World Friend, but they do have 3, 4, 5. What really sucks is that when Mars was in third, he pulled triple greens, and then Linkos had the double reds in fourth. He was just too far to capitalize. I'm wondering if Mars is kicking himself for not slowing down a lot to kind of get Linkos to throw those two reds, because once he got into third, he was he was just not pulling those reds that he needed, and that was just kind of the clean top two for BUZ. But yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know, a testament to how sometimes the items really just don't go the way that you want them to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like those two reds would have been enough. We saw Q had plenty
Yeah.
of defense. He had the Nana, he had the bomb. As we saw in match one with Q, you need 7 reds if you want to make progress. And 7 reds were what World Friend needed. And unfortunately for them, we're not able to pull that race. And we're seeing a completely different BUZ this match. Last match, we saw the raw, crazy BUZ, attacking every race with fervor, just trying to do everything they could each race. But now we're seeing a calmer BUZ. They're playing to defend this lead. We saw 3 of them bot 4 for the majority of the race, knowing that, hey, our top 2 can handle this. We have full trust in Q, and I think Yoshira was in 1. Or no, Tyson, sorry. And they were like, our bottom 3 or bottom 4, they can catch up at the end. And they did that. They don't need big races at all. They're just playing small incremental gains each race, build up a lead. Even if World Friend gets something good, it doesn't matter. They'll have enough of a gap as we head into race 3, Music Park, which is a strong start for World Friend so far.
Yeah, Linkos does get hit out, but it still is top 2 for World Friend. Pressure's on for them. They need to force these group runs. They can't really be staying back for shock too hard, because they do need a lot of top spots here. They need to do what BUZ did in the first war and play for really big races, because they need them.
Indeed, this is looking great. Gold MK, though, with fire. I think he collects one of his teammates, but gets a World Friend player out with it. Right now, BUZ are 2-4 right now with World Friend in 1-3. It's a pretty split top. However, with Tyson getting hit out, this puts World Friend into top 2-4. Gold MK is on a lot of pressure right now with the horn in front of him. If Yamal decides to slow horn him, there's not much Gold can do. Gold MK needs attack items soon, otherwise he is going to get attacked in return. But he opts to skip the item boxes, dodges the fire, but is now in a really poor position. The red shell comes out. He has to go around super rounds and gives up the 3rd place position to Soren. This is now top 3 for World Friend. This is what they need. The blue shell is out, but the lead is too big for the blue shell to matter yet. But the fall off dodge comes in. Gold MK keeps his greens. Yeah. We see his teammates dodging. Gold MK has those greens and he can make something happen. Q has a plan. Mars, you need to watch out. There is carnage coming for you. Be careful. Q uses the plan, hits out Mars, I believe. I think Mars made it through unscathed.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, I think he did. Just barely. Yeah, Mars is still there, but still a lot of BUZ all around him. Gold getting hit, so this might still just be a top 2 only for BUZ, depending on what happens at the end. Q does have double defense, so he just needs to play safe here. Maybe go for a risky back. Yeah, he does. He double backs. Red almost hit Linkos on the super bounce. Yeah, I mean, that's a really good shock for BUZ. They dismantled that top 3 pretty well for World Friend.
It's a small gain. I believe it's only a +2 race, but they don't need big gains at this stage. They have the lead. They would be perfectly happy if every race from here on out was a tie or a +2 either way. They win the war if that happens. I want to be honest, fall-off dodges are so cool. Every single time they happen. I mean, the moment I saw Gold drive off the track, he's too good to be driving off the track not intentionally. He drives off the track, he dodges, he has greens. Unfortunately, we couldn't see if he made any magic happen with those greens. Instead, we watched Q attempt to make something happen with the plant. But every single time that happens, it's so cool. It does give away the shock's about to happen a little bit, but if your opponents think it's lag, which is so common in this game, they won't expect it. And once again, Moo Moo Meadows is missed. We don't get to see the 2 teams on Moo Moo Meadows go head-to-head. I want it to happen, but we do see Dragon Driftway. And on this track, Gold MK has claimed to me that he can always pull shock if his team needs it, which is great to have in your back pocket if you start off poorly. However, I mean, obviously BUZ will hope they get to a point where they don't even need shock. Bape starts off well. Q maintains his 3rd place. He throws the red out, but since there's a double box there at the first set, Bape manages to protect himself. Q gets bumped off cut, but Bape is gone in 1. Bape is gone in 1. The minimap was lagging and I got tricked.
Yeah, that's a testament to that prevalent lag that you were talking about in this game. You know, the map shows something completely different than what is going on. That Nana snipe on Babe was huge. Top 2 right here for World Friend. Actually, yeah, Tyson's here, so it's just a 1-3. You know, he does have a red, but does he have a second red is the question.
Tyson is here. Gold is in 4. He won't be able to pull Shock if his team needs it. He goes for the nanosnipe there. He has fire behind Yamal. Can he hit him off? He's going now. Tyson makes his way into first with some clever driving. The fire does land, and we see Yamal readying out his teammate. This is a top 2 now for BUZ. Tyson, what happened to you?
He got redded. Yeah. Yeah, Soren threw a red as his teammate redded him. Yeah.
I mean, that chaos has worked out somewhat, but Bape is still in first. I thought we lost him. I don't know how he made his way back into first. We're seeing some magic happen right now on Dragon Driftway, but this is advantage BUZ as we head into the final half of lap 2. Bape gets hit out, maybe from Gold's Nana snipe the previous lap, but Gold does have a Shroom in 1. He will be able to take cut and defend his position, or defend from a blue shell if one comes. If the player in 2 pulls 2 reds behind him, though, he might get double redded out. The green shell comes, he blocks it with the Nana, he shrooms up cut, and the red is not coming. Gold MK comes home with a first in this race. He's made a lot of claims about Dragon Driftway, but I've not heard him claim that he can run it in a D2 lobby and dominate. But maybe he needs to start claiming that.
True. Yeah, that was a lot of buzz after that. Only 2-3 for World Friend. So they're gonna have a lot of those mid spots. You know, they got 4, 5, 6, 7 behind Gold and first there. Wondering what they're gonna pick for that. Maybe it's time to pull out the cloud top. Maybe you want to start going slightly anti-inward tracks. You know, we'll have to see. Maybe you want to just go for your comfort tracks with DK Mountain, but I don't know.
Yeah, we're once again seeing a repeat of the first match. BUZ is getting a majority of the track picks, and unlike the first match, they're picking tracks that they are masters of and that World Friend have less comparative experience on, and we're seeing that pay off right now. World Friend really needs some track picks, or they really need some shocks, because so far this match, I don't think they've had either. They had a singular track pick on Madrid, and I believe it was their shock on Madrid, but since then, they've not gotten a track pick or shock. But it's finally time. Prairie Moo Moo. Here we go.
Yeah, it's a lot of no's for World Friend right now. You know, they got no shocks, no track picks, and no winning races so far. BUZ has won this entire GP, and they're up 36 going into the second GP here. World Friend needs to change something up, and they need to do it now if they want to win this match.
They do. This is the track for it. Who knows what will happen? Both teams have shown that they want this track to be played. Both teams are great on this track. We see players streaming up. We see Mars in first. We see Soren in third right now. Both players with defense. Jordan is in second right now with a mushroom. We see the red shell coming in. Hopefully that doesn't collect their teammate. Mitis throws the red shell, and we see top 3 early on in the race for World Friend. We have seen when World Friend gets leads that BUZ is able to pull shock and turn it around. However, on a track like this that only has 2 item sets, shock is unlikely to happen, but the fire does come in for BUZ. We see Q shrooming up, and it's now only top 2 for World Friend. There is a BUZ player in the back going for shock, but is so unlikely to be pulled. Q does have 10 coins if he can get some good lines and pass Mitis and trail him out, but he opts to get rid of it. His teammate must have a red behind him as he's slowing down quite a lot. Here comes the red. It nearly collects Q, but Mitis has been hit out. Q has triple shrooms into. Can he take out the player in first? Is there a blue shell coming, or is World Friend holding on to that blue shell for Mars?
I doubt it. You know, blue is just as hard to pull as shock on this track. Yeah, Mars looks like he's going to hold first here. Oh, he hit something. Maybe he hit the mole. But yeah, Mars does hold first, but it's still a 2-3-4 for BUZ. Yeah, BUZ is still putting that pressure on. They need to win this match if they want to win the series, and they're doing a great job. You know, good showing on World Friend, one of World Friend's signature tracks here.
Indeed, 4 of bottom 6 is very, very hurtful for World Friend. It was a great first that Mars held onto, avoiding the bomb snipe from Q. I think he hit the mole at the end, but it's better to get hit by a mole than a bomb, and managed to keep his lead. We now see BUZ going DK Mountain, another track that Inside Drifters are not great on. They do lose just a little bit of time, but since it is closer to the end of the lap, they can get into a strong position at the start and be far enough in front that it doesn't hurt too much, as we've seen some great inside players like Roberto, like Messi do in the past. We'll have to see if the inside drift player for World Friend can do the same. If they get it, how Reduci Tokyo coming in, another fantastic bottom spot drafter. There's so little coins on the racing line on Tokyo, so starting with 4, 5, 3 coins is so important. And we see World Friend, they get their second track or their third track pick. Now this match, second in a row. They are down 46, which is more than an entire race, but comebacks have happened before, much bigger than this, and a comeback here could happen as we head into the World Friend track pick.
Yeah, good track pick for World Friend here. I believe it was a World Friend track pick, right? Or was it a BUZ track pick?
It was indeed. It was a World Friend track pick.
Okay, yeah, it was a really good track pick because Mars could have held first here on Teddy, and it's really good for your bottom spots as you have coin advantage, you can pull shrooms. Just as I say that though, it's a lot of World Friend that's being hit out here. BUZ playing very aggressive, getting those hits out, and not a lot of shrooms up here for World Friend. More shrooms for BUZ, and honestly, World Friend needs it a lot more than they do. But yeah, I mean actually, World Friend did get into a lot of top spots here. BUZ kind of fumbled a bit, only in 2-3, maybe 2-4. But yeah, we'll see if World Friend can hold it down here because they need a huge race. They need to swing it back, and they need to do it now.
They really do. That was a great looking bomb, but unfortunately it did not connect. And we see Yoshira now shrooming up. BUZ are back to a 2-3 position. Bape has a third shot ring on deck, ready, but Linkos is getting in the mix. Linkos needs to avoid getting hit by this reg, but he needs to also save his teammate from the reg. The blue shell is coming out. Mitis does not have anything to protect from it, and now this is BUZ top 2. This all comes down to Linkos' bomb. The bomb is tight, but both players avoid it. BUZ has been doing so well at avoiding these bomb snipes this war. Linkos and Yamal are bearing down on Bape, but it will be up to them. If they pull reds, the Horde can protect from a reg. Bape goes to slow down for the Horde, but Linkos manages to land a green, and Linkos is gone, but there's a lot of BUZ players behind him. He opts to take the double. He needs this defense here, but if a BUZ player can pull stuff behind him, he doesn't stand a chance. He backs his Nana. He plays risky. He hits Tyson off. Does he?
No,
he doesn't.
Tyson survived, yeah. It's once
lag again.
It looks like just a 1-0 for World Friend. Yeah, 1-4-7-8. That 2-3-5-6, is a good salvage for BUZ on World Friend's track pick there.
Yeah, it was looking very good for World Friend there, but the blue shell came in and saved the day for BUZ. But yeah, what were you saying, Miles?
I want to point out a play that Clement, aka Midas played. When he was getting blue, he tried to back a bomb tight on that 2-3 for BUZ. Linkos went wide, and both the BUZ players went tight, so they would have been back bombed, but he backed it too early, and unfortunately the blue exploded the bomb early, so it didn't hit either of those BUZ players. But that would have been a huge play for him to make there if that actually paid off. It just is unfortunate that he backed it a little bit too early.
That's very unfortunate, and it shows how small the margins are at this level between victory and failure. Failure is too harsh a word. Loss. But, I mean, this is the last ever MKU season, probably, for the time being. So both teams are wanting to win this. This is their last chance to win D2. Obviously, World Friend have won much more before, but especially for BUZ, this is their last chance to win D2. And they're taking that chance with both their hands. They're grabbing it. They're not letting World Friend get their hands on it too. And right now they're holding it just a little too high out of World Friend's reach. But if World Friend could get one big jump, knock it out of BUZ's hands, this could be the track for it. It does favor BUZ. This is an English-speaking track special. Most English teams will pick this track at some point. And BUZ is no exception. They probably play in every scrim when they play in the evenings against, your BDDs, your GVs, your Solar Storms. All those teams are picking it, and BUZ have the experience on it. But hey, World Friend, they have the experience in this game, period, and could make something happen. Shock is very strong on this track. There are not one, but 2 broken sets on this track. 3 and 4 if you count both those half pipes as well. So either team, if they commit early, could pull Shock. We could see a lap 1 Shock pulled here if it needs to happen. We see the bomb coming in, hitting out the World Friend players. BUZ are now gone in top 2. Linkos is behind them with a red shell, but he's letting Gold MK through. Can he hit Gold MK with his red? Gold MK is undefended. That's 1 BUZ player out, but there are still 2 more in front of them. World Friend have that last place position, though. They will need Shock if they need to make something happen against this BUZ top 2, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. You can just see the comfort coming from BUZ. I've talked to BUZ about this track. They said, this is their best track. They skill diff every team that they play, and just as I say that, you can see Linko's line there. You can see that it's a lack of comfort from World Friend as they're not able to kind of catch that top 2. Shock does come in for Linkos there. That is a World Friend Shock, as one of them does dodge here up in 6. Yeah, it's going to be a 3-4 dodging here. That's actually a huge shock for them because they need that. Jordan getting really blue good too, able to dodge the blue. Maybe it lagged. Not too sure. It's still going to be a 2-3 right now for BUZ as Soren and Clement are up here. Bomb in second for Q. That could be huge. Fire does come out for that World Friend player. So yeah, I mean their dodging spots are getting dismantled up here.
No, absolutely, and that shock was so good for World Friend because not only did they dodge, but all their players that dodged got that broken set there. They unfortunately didn't pull any triple reds there, but if they did, that would have been game over for BUZ. We did see Soren pull the star, which he did use to get himself out of a tricky situation with Q's bomb. He has 4 defense now protecting his top 3. He just needs to make it overcut, which he does. This is looking really good. Only a last minute shock or Rang throw could make something happen. We do see the shot coming in for BUZ, but I do believe World Friend made it across the line. Top 3 safe. Top 3, but 3 of bottom 11, spots.
Though. Yeah. They'll need more than
it's not as good of a race as it could have been. And yes, that's a game for World Friend, but they need bigger races than that. Time is starting to run out. I believe we have 5 more races left in this war now after that DKM, and they do have quite a deficit to grab. And here we go. Here is the Rainbow Road 8 coming in from BUZ. When they won D6 back 3 seasons ago, this was their best track. This is the track they opted to put on the banner. This is the track that they said, hey, we're going to advertise to the world that we're good at this track, and we don't even care that if teams know that because we are this good at this track. And we could be seeing BUZ show that right now. This Rainbow Road 8 could put them in a position where the war becomes almost unlosable. However, it could go wrong with a broken cannon set on this track. Shock could provide spoiler. You never know. We saw last race, BUZ had a great lead. They were out driving World Friend on that track, but World Friend played the bottom spots better. They might have gotten lucky with the shock. I'm not quite sure. Any shock pull is a bit of luck, and they turned it into a winning race for them. So World Friend will need to do the same on Rainbow Road 8 right now if they want to win this war.
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to how this war is going. BUZ had their foot on the gas, but World Friend got their first winning race on one of BUZ's best tracks. And this is also one of their best tracks, right? So if things are poetic the way they have been, then this will be World Friend's race to lose. So we'll just have to see. They're playing a lot in the front here. They got into an early top 3, which is really huge for them. But like you said, the cannon set is going to be kind of telling about how this race is kind of going to go down.
Yes, and more importantly, I feel like they know their backs are against the wall, and they're going to be playing a lot more aggressive, a lot more to win, which can be hard. But when you have this much experience, this much quality, this much pedigree playing at the top level, you're more comfortable in positions like these. There's nothing to lose. You can make the plays you want to play, and you don't have to worry, if you lose this war, it's not a bottle. You're not bottled at all. You're in a position to pounce. Right now, BUZ are being hunted, and World Friend are the hunters as they start off strong with a top 2 on Rainbow Road 8 as we head into the broken cannon set. This is the first time going through this cannon that shock will be available to the players, so all eyes will be on the players on the back. Let's see if they can pull shock, if they can disrupt this top 2 from World Friend.
Yeah, it looks like a top 2-5 right now. I think Linkless did actually land that back. That was pretty huge because he does need to play a little bit more aggressive. Shock does come in. That looks like it might be a BUZ shock. Yeah, it is a BUZ shock. Tyson does come in. Jordan dodges up, and I think there's one more dodger, so that's pretty huge for BUZ here. Mars did dodge, so it's maybe just a 4-5 for World Friend here, but yeah, it's pretty huge for BUZ.
This is looking really good for BUZ right now. Shock will not be in play at the set as 30 seconds have not elapsed yet. So right now, World Friend need to get broken items from this set if they want to catch up. But we see the broken item being pulled by Bape instead. Bape with a star can protect him till almost the end of the race pretty much. It's going to be very, very hard to break this top 3. The blue is coming out, but that's a little too little, a little too late. Linkhouse is the triple reds, but Mars is in front of him. Q ends up getting hit out. We see a lot of bills coming in from World Friend. We do see a couple of the BUZ players ending up in the back. We see Q getting 12th, but a top 4-6 from BUZ is
Huge.
so strong. They've got a big lead. They've got a big lead, and they got a single GP, and they need to defend this.
Yeah, that eliminated World Friend's winning race, last race, and then some. World Friend's going to need a lot now as they're down about 64 going into this last GP here. World Friend's going to need something big if they're going to actually want to make a comeback. But yeah, I mean, if you're World Friend, you're going to be a little devastated after that because, yeah, that's a that's a lot to come back from.
That is so tough, especially because you did well. You were in a good position on your opponent's best track. That's their flagship track. That's the track they represent the BUZ brand by, and you were beating them. But it was all for naught when the shock came in right there. This is looking very hard for World Friend. But we saw in the first match from both teams, the top 5 run meta was advancing. Both teams were testing it out a bit, seeing if it worked. And for the most part, the top 5 run was working. And we will most likely be seeing the same from World Friend as they need something crazy to happen right now. Do they get their pick? They do. LA Laps is another special for World Friend. One of their best tracks. They're so good on it. They're not just good at running at it, they're so good at pulling shock on it. They know the distances perfectly. They have this map. It's mapped out inch by inch. They know exactly where they need to be. And this is how it starts, if they do start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is one of World Friend's best tracks, and I don't really know how they play it, but I'm curious how they always get such a good result on it, and I'm wondering if today will be the exception or if they're able to kind of keep their streak. Playing very aggressive at the beginning, but it still is a lot of BUZ in the front, and it's mixed shroom spots. We'll see what Linkhouse pulls here. He does pull double shrooms, able to take the cut, but nothing to hit out Q in first.
I just want to say, Q is absurd. He got 12th that last race, and yes, he pulled a shroom there, but how does he already have this lead? I know he has coins, but he's starting 12th. He's on Scooty. He's going to get bumped out by the pack, but he's just gone already. I don't know what magic Q is working. But I don't know, someone needs to check his game cartridge or something, because that is just absurd. But the blue is coming out. The game has decided to nerf Q itself. Here comes the blue on the glider too. I don't think he has a second shroom, but he makes it past. He has the bomb in pocket. He does the same exact thing that the World Friend player did on Tokyo. We need to work on our bombs. We need to work on our timing, guys. But World Friend now in a strong position after that blue. I think BUZ is 3 of bottom 4. I think we're seeing them risk it. They're saying we need big races. We can't rely on shock. We need to rely on just out driving them. This is looking good right now as Soren gets the trail off. Sword and Linkhouse, top 2. These guys played in D4 last season, but are now in D2 and could be making the difference. There's a top 3. Soren has a horn in pocket ready for the second blue. Second blue will be in play right now as we head into lap 3. We need shock not to come if you are on the World Friend side, as that is the only thing that can stop them now. However, after this final set, shock is so deadly. There's 2 small shortcuts before the end. If shock happens, they can't take them. All the BUZ players will have dodges. All the BUZ players will be ready. If shock comes, it is now top 4. BUZ do not have shock as we head into the final few quarters of the race.
Yeah, hold your breath. Yeah, it's World Friend in the top 4 here. They were holding blue at the end, even though they did have a horn, but the horn did get ghosted. It's going to be a top 4 here for World Friend. But they're still going to need more than that. Even if they get like a plus 24, they're still going to need like top 6 level races. Top 4-6 is a huge swing for World Friend, in their favor. It's still going to kind of put them, a little bit out of range of catching up with BUZ with one race. But if they can chip away in these next couple races, it's do or die. They need to do something huge.
Something to note is that at the end of the race, Linkhouse right there let Soren through on the finish line. I think Soren has more runners available that he wants to pick. And so Linkhouse was like, yes, I want you in first. You're going to hold this strong first. As we see him going to Paris Promenade. The result of that race was an exact mirror of BUZ's race on Rainbow Road 8. Exact same spots, exact same point differential. Those 2 tracks, I think, are each team's flagship track, and both of them did a masterclass on it. We have 3 races to go. The differential is within 1 race. If World Friend get a top 6 here, We have a World Friend lead, but right now we have a war on our hands with 3 races to go as we head to Grumble Volcano on the side of BUZ.
Yeah, man. Honestly, this is a pretty safe pick for BUZ. I know they like this track, but World Friend, a lot of them are base game enjoyers, and I know that they have a lot of practice on this track. Um, yeah, I mean that exact reversal of Rainbow Road 8 was much needed for World Friend. I don't want to show my bias, but I do want to watch some more Mario Kart, and I'm always cheering for the underdog. So I do want to see, if World Friend can turn this around, or if BUZ is going to be our D2 finalist here. But yeah, I mean, World Friend's going to need a lot. If they get a top 6, it's still going to be a very close match. But yeah, it's a lot of BUZ in the back here, which is interesting. Because there is a lot of BUZ in the front as well. BUZ is kind of dominating all of the spots here, and World Friend's kind of in the mid spots. So if they're gonna want to go for shock or play risky, then they're gonna need to get up there.
Gold MK does get a good trail off, but line fails right after taking back the progress. We see another lap 1 blue coming out. This seems to be a theme this war. Linkos is hit, but Mars is now in first. Gold MK with a bomb in 3. Will he throw it up, or will he take the safe play and back it? But he gets sniped out anyways. Mars gets readied again. The bomb is back. This is tragedy for World Friend, as this is now a BUZ top 3. Gold MK holding a horn in second, Q with a star in 3, but is forced into it. If World Friend pulls shock now, the BUZ players have all burnt their dodges right now, and shock could be massive. This set is slightly broken right here, so this is the set that World Friend pulls it if they need, but they don't seem to be that far back. I don't think shock is too likely, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe shock is already in play. Maybe the World Friend players already have it. I think if it comes, it's going to come after the next set. Get BUZ in a position where they don't have any items. They can't take the final tree cut at the end, but this is looking very, very good for BUZ right now. It's just Mars and Yamal up there. Gold has a green. Can Gold hit this green side on Yamal? He, unfortunately for himself, misses, but World Friend needs shock to come now. Otherwise, it's going to be a monstrous effort that they need in the final 2 races. Yamal is holding a star. He goes into his star. He hits Gold out. Gold doesn't make it over. Gold has a star himself, but BUZ are running away in top 2. They have a player in 4th right now as well. It looks like this is a fantastic race for BUZ. It's not quite the nail in the coffin yet, but it has made World Friend's job exponentially harder with that top 2-5 right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that might have been pretty close to the nail of the coffin. World Friend needed shock, and honestly, not a lot of them were going very hard for it. Yamal, aka Rezop, did have a star in 4th, so he could have easily won that race if they did pull shock there, but unfortunately just wasn't able to pull it out.
Indeed, that's very, very tough. I feel like the World Friend players were not far back enough for how badly they needed shock. I think they were of 2 camps. They were thinking, hey, like, we need to salvage this race somehow, but they're also like, we need shock to not lose this race, and they kind of went for both, and they didn't do a great job of either. They got split. They didn't commit to a solid strategy, but right now they've got 2 races left. They need to all be on the same page. They need to all make their strategy perfect. I'm seeing Mont Festif. I think that would be a great track. Christmas Miracle. But they go Berlin instead. Berlin, bit of Koopa Cape on the side. We need to see perfection in these final 2 races if World Friend want to turn this around.
Mm-hmm. We're actually getting some Koopa Cave. I was hoping for that, and I was gonna say it, but I was just gonna be joking because it was the one pick on the board, but we actually got it. Best track in the game, undisputed best track in the game. I'm excited to see some action here.
And I think Mont Festif might be a little bit better. Which is such a good track. I didn't know his name that in French until now. I think it's a great track name. Apologies for butchering the pronunciation. But that is tragic for Linkos. He's in a bottom 4 spot, but he misses the box. He doesn't get his guaranteed shroom at the start. All of World Friend players need to be getting their guaranteed shroom to be taking this lead. They are down quite a bit right now. They need 2 perfect races. We see Soren shrooming up, but Jordan also shrooms up. He pulls a horn in 1 and gets out a player. We see BUZ top 2 right now. Yoshira and Q in the front. Yoshira does get hit, but Q is up there. Elects not to go for boxes. Maybe he's hoping he can wall dodge the items himself. We see Yamal in 3rd. I don't know what item he has right now, but Q is running away right now in 1. The red shell comes. Can he get the wall dodge? He can. Q, what are you doing right now? And he pulls a bomb as well. The bomb is back. It hits the world friend player out right now. Q, this is just absurd gameplay from you. What are you doing, man? And now Gold MK with a star in second for BUZ. He opts to go into star. Do we see an early shock to put the nail in the coffin completely? Or is Gold just trying to extend his lead? He has Shroom in second. If a blue comes, the early shock is not here, which is good news from World Friend, as it means they can punish with a shock of their own. We see Mars with a ghost in a great position, but people are not at distance for World Friend to pull shock. We see Linkos stopping completely. Linkos does get hit out. Will he pull now? He only gets 1 box. This is not what we need. Linkos is going to need to stop at this set or pull a single box shock. We see the BUZ players continuing on. They know they can win it here. They are hungry. They want to be in finals. Linkos is stopping. Does he pull? No, he pulls triple shrooms golden, which is worst case scenario because even if his teammate in front of him pulls, he cannot dodge the shock. BUZ are holding on to the blue. This will increase the shock chances, but it means BUZ cannot get blued. If they just keep one of their top spots, they win this race. Soren spams his dodge. Do they have shock? It's looking like this might be the end of the road for World Friend here as we head into the final few corners of Koopa Cave.
Yeah, I think I'm about ready to call it. I think BUZ is winning this. You know, they got their top 3, and that's all they need. You know, if they get bottom 3, it's still going to be a win for them here.
And I mean, that was just an outrageously played race. You know, we saw Q wall dodging 1 with no item, followed by pulling a bomb and backing it. Masterclass. Gold MK behind him with a star in second. Opts to use it early just to get the lead of the race. I think the way BUZ were positioned, even if the shock was pulled on lap 3, their top 2 were so far ahead that it wouldn't have mattered, and top 2 would have been enough for BUZ to win the war right there. They've played so well today. I think they've played a different style of Mario Kart than we often see. They're not doing things by the rulebook. They've thrown the rulebook out completely, and it's worked out a treat for them. They're in a very, very good... No, we're not repicking Gorge. Surely not. They are up enough that they could afford a repick, but that would just be... No. Oh, that's Linkos repicking it. Never mind.
Yeah,
I thought that was toxic on the end of BUZ, but you know, okay.
Nah. Yeah, I mean, BUZ is going to do their victory lap here. Congrats to them for making it to the finals in D2. Good shit. Honestly, it's a really, really good match. I'm glad that I was here to cast it. I was glad that I was here to see all these amazing plays. On both sides. World Friend was chipping away a little bit, but unfortunately, BUZ kind of had their foot on their neck the entire time.
And yeah, this is the final season. BUZ has not won at this level yet before, and they showed today they were hungrier. As we go to the Animal Crossing track pick, I'm not sure who picked this. I mean, I'm thinking BUZ, like, yes, they're already looking forward to their finals match against GGL. GGL, a very, very tough team, have not lost in 3 weeks straight, but maybe BUZ can be the ones to do it. I mean, I think we've seen some great prep out of BUZ today for this match. They showed in the first match, especially on the track picks of World Friend, that they were prepared for them. They knew exactly what they were going to pick coming in, and they prepared for that. They executed their plan masterfully. If they can bring that same preparation to finals, I think it's going to be very, very hard to stop them.
Absolutely. Now we're seeing some angry Wiggler action here from Soren.
We do. It would be so heartbreaking right now if World Friend pulled shock in this race when they've wanted it so much the past 2 races. If this is the race they pull shock on, that would just be a stab to the heart completely. Linkos with triple reds in 4th. His teammate is in front of him, so he's electing to back. I'm not sure who the Isabel player is. I want to say it's BUZ because I saw Gold MK holding that blue right there. Another race being shockless on this track of all tracks would be surprising. We've seen very, very few shocks both these wars. Like Gorge was shockless. Most of his races so far have been shockless, and it looks to be the same. Gold is happy in 12 holding blue for his teammate on Isabel. Q, once again, we're going back to his point of view. He doesn't need to. Gold MK, the team player. We do see a shot coming in from BUZ, I believe, as a lot of them dodge. Never mind, World Friend. The players on both sides dodging. World Friend gets the higher up dodge. It is in 1. The BUZ players behind them. That won't be enough. The shock finally comes in, but that is a little too little, a little too late. All the BUZ players have played their roles masterfully today. I mean, special highlights,
Mhm.
of course, we were watching their point of view. Q with some truly outrageous plays in both wars. The Bangkok dodging all those items to end up pulling 7 reds, or that Koopa Cape. Those were a difference maker, but Gold MK as well. Ever the team player. Q, advertising his YouTube. You know what? Give him a subscribe. He deserves it after how he's played today.
Yeah,
It's been
man. He
fantastic.
masterclass today. Seriously, he masterclass today. He did great. So yeah, once again, congrats to BUZ. Great series. Both matches for D2 this season actually went 2-0. So yeah, I mean, congrats. We'll see BUZ and GGL in finals, and we'll see who takes it home.
Indeed. I can't wait. I mean, we've got a week to wait. We've got MobaCon. Tune in to those streams. Our very own Miles will be casting it, as well as some other of our great MK Central casters. But it's been an absolute pleasure casting today. I've had so much fun. I hope everyone has had fun watching this stream. But I think that's all for today.
Mhm.
Have a good one, guys.
Mhm.
Wait, there is one more. Little more, little more. All right, but yeah, I mean that was a fantastic match. Is all I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
BUZ played. BUZ came in with a clear game plan and they executed it perfectly. I doubted their game plan through all of match 1, but match 2, I realized the plan and they pulled it off fantastically.
Yeah, man. Honestly, that entire series was really fun to watch. It was kind of crazy how Wilfred was only up for one race throughout the entire series. It just kind of shows how dominant BUZ was throughout the entire thing. Even with the first match having only World Friend tracks pretty much for a majority of it, and then BUZ kind of pulled out all the stops. They were able to kind of play a lot of their comfort tracks and get some pretty good races on it, with the exception of DK Mountain with that unfortunate shock from World Friend. It was fun to see World Friend kind of do a reversal of the race before, um, or on DK Mountain, and then kind of BUZ kind of swung back pretty quickly with Rainbow Road 8 the next time. So that was just kind of the nail in the coffin. Unfortunately, was BUZ getting two of their best tracks back to back in DK Mountain and Rainbow Road 8 to kind of close it out, so to say, on World Friend there.
I also think BUZ coming up huge on Moo Moo Meadows was good. World Friend did get that first place, but BUZ filled out all the spots behind it. It was the World Friend pick. They picked it for their spots. They had the better spots on it. But BUZ did prove today that they are the kings of Moo Moo Meadows. They were picking it for a reason, and they executed it perfectly.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, Moo Meadows is always fun to watch. GB in our first season. We got a top 6 on World Friend actually, and it was their track pick, and we were pretty hyped about that. World Friend takes a lot of pride in the tracks that they're good at, and they are really good at Mumu. But it's
Yeah.
it's cool to see that they're not exactly unbeatable on it. But yeah, we have our final graphic here. Both matches went 2-0. GGL and BUZ are going to be the finalists for Division 2. We're going to get to watch them on June 1st. I'm not sure if we're doing that for Primetime. I don't know what we're going to be doing for Primetime quite yet. Still need to sort that out because we are taking a break next week for MomoCon and KOF 95, the French tournament. But yeah, I'll be seeing you guys at MomoCon. I'll be on the caster panel with Jacob, Bubbles, Princess Brat, and a few of the other favorites. So it's going to be a good weekend. I'm excited. I'm already starting to pack to get out there, so it'll be cool.
And even if it's not prime time, if we choose to do D1 prime time or another division prime time, we do know Q will be streaming BUZ versus GGL on his YouTube match. If you are a fan of BUZ, if you are a fan of the Q gameplay, so there will be a way
Mhm.
to watch it.
Mhm.
I guarantee.
Yeah, man.
And I
Yeah.
think that is all for us today. I had a little bit of a false start earlier. I was unaware we had this graphic, but for real this time, that is all for us. Thank you so much for watching. I had an absolute pleasure doing this, casting to all of you, casting with Miles. Thank you so much to Nick, who was on the desk for us. He was giving us hints the whole match, like if we were incorrect about something, which is very useful. And he was running this whole program. So everyone, if you see Nick, give him a thanks. He's so instrumental to everything he does.
Yeah, Nick, Neo, the entire media team. Thank you guys for setting this up. It was a Yeah, yeah, it was a great cast. We were able to really, pull this off with our amazing media team. Neo was making graphics for the cast in between each match, in between each race. He was adding those tracks that were picked for each team. Just, great resilience, great reflexes to kind of get everything on deck for us, and we honestly couldn't have done it without them. So I appreciate it, you guys.
Indeed.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. I'll catch you at MomoCon. I'll see you there. But with that said, I've been Miles. I've been joined with Top Hat. Thank you all.